welcome back. It's a Money Monday on Liquid Lunch, and we're coming to you live as we do every single day, noon to 2 Eastern. On Money Mondays, we bring you all you need to know about your money and your cryptocurrency, all that good stuff. We do a little after show today and talk about the down and dirty going on in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But all the rage in the news is about the coronavirus. It's rocking the markets. People are fearful. There's fright. There's hysteria. And you know me, I'm not fully believing in this stuff just yet, this whole corona thing. I've actually been fighting it off with the Corona beer, and I'm doing fine. But joining us right now is a licensed clinical social worker, and she is someone that has spent 25 years dealing with disaster, anxiety, and mental health. Jennifer Bohr-Cuevas joins us. And Jennifer, thank you for joining us. I'm ringing my bell. Where's my bell? Here it is. Because it's not I ring it the first time on the show, but last time you were here, I was not here. So I'm sorry. So I ring the bell for you. But I don't believe, I know you watch the show, and you know I don't fully believe that this is as big as it is, but many people are fearful. My kids are saying, hey, could this come to the U.S.? And I think it's causing a general set of anxiety that people probably shouldn't be dealing with. But tell our audience what they could do to kind of fight off the anxiety of it.
Yeah, America is very anxious about this virus. It's very new, it's highly publicized, and it's creating a climate of fear. And the problem isn't even here in the United States. What I think happens is when there is something new in the air, people sort of slip or fall prey to being a victim of their own narrative. So they try to put themselves in the shoes of the people who are diagnosed with the virus, or people who are stuck on board ships and are trying to get their way back into the United States. They're almost putting themselves in their heads, trying to figure out how they would cope with it, and they ruminate over it. So that just builds the anxiety.
So I kind of use this method of, if I want something good to happen, I envision it, and then I keep my mind focused on working hard towards that, and don't get distracted by looking at all the negatives around me. But a lot of people tend to think, well, I would think of it as I don't have the coronavirus, and I'm drinking Corona every day, and I think I'm safe from the coronavirus, so I'm not going to think about it. But other people, you know, a lot of people are more pessimistic than that, and rather than think I don't have it, so let me celebrate, they think I may get it, or it's coming.
The narrative.
The narrative is it's coming my way.
That's right.
And that is what really causes people fear. It's not even...
And people who have diagnosed anxiety disorders, such as obsessive compulsive disorder or hypochondriasis, are more susceptible to being victim of this particular anxiety.
Got it. Frankie, I've been drinking Corona. Oh, there goes my Corona. And I've also been cleansing myself, as you know, with these Lysol dual action wipes, because they also fight the human coronavirus. But Frankie doesn't buy any of my homemade remedies.
Well, yeah, but I do think that people, you know, it's very counterproductive to start flipping out over this. It's certainly great to wash your hands and take proper precautions, but I don't really see the value in anxiety over whether or not you're going to get this disease. And I see this paralysis of fear being somewhat counterproductive. I do want to ask you about another issue that is all too real and all too jarring for a lot of Americans and a lot of New Yorkers, and that's what we saw over the weekend with 2 police officers shot in the Bronx. Thankfully, they're both going to be okay, both going to be fine, but a lot of people are worried about the rise in violent crime in places like New York City and the targeting of police officers. What can you say to people who might be worried about something like that?
About being targeted in a crime?
Well, NYPD coming under, you know, policemen across the country are under attack right now. And those are the ones that people believe are keeping them safe. When you see them getting attacked, it kind of heightens the anxiety again for civilization.
Yeah, there's definitely an anti-police movement that is occurring right now. It's very tragic. However, I do a lot of work with trauma as well, and I do try to tell people that thinking about the possibility of something happening versus the probability is a way to help you cope as well.
What's a good way, like when someone, sometimes you get stuck in your head and you start thinking things and it foments it for you. What's a good, simple way people at home could learn something from you today? What could they do to kind of break that thought? Like, oh, don't do that anymore. Do this.
I love the idea of mindfulness. I know it's a pop psychology term, but I really do believe that it works. The idea is that you stay in the moment that you're in, because that is all we really have. And in that moment, you're going to self-soothe with reminders that you are not in danger in that moment. And if you do become challenged or threatened, you will deal with it.
So is it like maybe look at your watch, and that like might remind you like just live in this moment. Right now you don't have coronavirus, so
That's
be happy
right.
about that.
That's right, because this moment is all we have. This is all you can stay in.
A lot of people forget that, right? You know,
That's right.
Somebody just recently was interviewing me for this article in Metropolitan Magazine, and they asked me this one question, like a series of questions, but said, you know, if you could change one thing in your life, what would it be? And my answer was nothing, because I'm really happy where I am right this moment. And, you know, I have my health, I have my kids, they're healthy, my family and everything else. The TV show's doing well. If I changed one thing, all of that could have gone in a different direction. So people forget that sometimes too, right?
We tend to live in the what if, and you're only going to be in an anxiety state chronically if you live in the what if. Stay in the moment. For your viewers, America is not in danger of the coronavirus. Do we have to take precautions? Absolutely. But it is not our country that is in an epidemic right now.
Fantastic.
You are all okay.
Fantastic. And if you want like a little safety net, like Linus's blanket, get some of these dual action wipes. They fight the human coronavirus. Wipe down your desk, wipe down your kids, your car, all that other stuff. Maybe it'll just be mentally stimulating. But Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome.
You're so calming. You got to come on more often and calm down the
I would
audience
love
when they're in
to.
fear. Not only a great guest, but also a great supporter of the show. I want to thank you for that also.
You're welcome.
I want to thank you for being there with us through hour two. We're breezing right through hour two, but don't go anywhere. Dr. Stephen Davis is going to come up next, and he's going to talk to us about all the Botox and plastic surgery that we saw on the red carpet last night. Bob Patterson's going to be here, and we're going to have any breaking news, Frankie? I saw you signaling to me.
Well, I mean, there's always breaking news, but we have Bob Patterson joining us next.
Bob Patterson
Yes.
is next, then Stephen Davis. Stay right there. You're watching Liquid Lunch. We're going to take a quick break. Come back with more right after this.